Hello, welcome to my live stream. I am here a bit early because the internet is good, and I thought while it is good, I'm going to go for it and I'm going to try and hop on the live stream. I'm on a river cruise right now. You can see things going by. I'm in Austria today, which is very exciting. We're on a TUI river cruise from Budapest to Budapest via Germany, Austria, and Slovakia, which is very cool. I'm hoping the internet is going to be good enough for this. We do have free Wi-Fi on TUI river cruises, and also I'm using 4G because I'm just so close to the land and it works perfectly. Hello to everybody who is in the chat. Thank you so much for joining me. It is gala night tonight, so I'm heading straight off to dinner after this. I've even got sparkly earrings on, if you can see those, because I'm literally going from this live stream straight to dinner. Now, river cruises are not a formal thing. You don't have to dress up at all for gala night if you don't want to, but I thought, you know, one time, why not? Thank you, Richard, who says video is great. That is good. Hopefully it is okay. I tried to position this kind of in the best way that I could so that you can see a bit inside, you can see a bit outside. You are balanced on a bin at the minute, trash can for the Americans. So hopefully you won't fall over during this live stream, but we will just see. I just think it's amazing that I can be somewhere like this and still talk to you guys on my regular live stream, which is really cool. I'm very used to, you know, being in the middle of the ocean, being in the middle of somewhere, and we all know cruise ship internet is not always the best. So this is very cool. Hello to everybody who is in the chat. Hello to Tim, who was in here first. I'm also an hour ahead of normal, which made this whole thing a little bit confusing, but hopefully this is the right time. I've been working it out. It's been a bit complicated. That's what Tim says he loves about the internet. You can have live conversations with people all over the world. Yes, it is rainy here today. It is rainy here. We're in Linz, but it is nice. You know, I'd be at home in the rain anyway, so I might as well be here in the rain, which is very cool. Lou was here early. He says, go right ahead. Yes, I figure I might as well start early. You know, anyone can always rewind if they come in later, but I'm here, so I thought I would give it a go. I also think we may be sailing away at 6:30, which is halfway through this live stream. So if that happens, I'm going to have to go because I'm going to be leaving the good internet behind. Thank you so much, Richard, for my super chat. Have a drink on us. Appreciate that one. Booking a Christmas market river cruise for 2023. Very, very nice. And on Oasis on Sunday. That will be so good. Thank you so much, Richard. I have been having some Coke on here. It is Pepsi. It is not Coke. But we do have drinks included with meals. Most river cruise lines include drinks with meals, and you just kind of pay outside of those times, which is cool. They have learnt, it's quite funny because this is the first sailing of the season, and they give out wine and beer and kind of soft drinks as standard with meals. And at the beginning, they would have to walk to the bar to get Coke Zero. And I was there at lunch and they had bottles of Coke Zero lined up on the side. So that's good. I feel like I'm giving feedback ahead of the summer season, which is going to be busier because there's only 94 people on this ship at the moment. The ship holds around 150 something. So I think it's better that, you know, they work out that people need Coke Zero in the main restaurant now. So that is good. Lou says the cruise looks great so far. I really enjoyed Viking. Yes, you would not believe, unless you've been on the rivers, you will not believe how many river ships there are from Viking. They absolutely own the rivers, and wherever you go in port, there's people from Viking tours, and they have the Viking umbrellas because you get given, you know, you can borrow a Viking umbrella if you're on a Viking tour. They are everywhere. We've seen so many Viking ships. We've seen Amur waterway ships, but you never see the same Viking one again. You know, there's so many. I don't know how many there are, but there are so many. Christine says hello to Christine. Hello to everybody who is in the chat. Oh, video is great. Good. I'm so glad. So I get a lot of questions about river cruising and how it compares to ocean cruising, of course. It's interesting because the people who are kind of on this cruise, they're river cruisers, obviously, they're on the river, but most of them haven't done ocean cruising. And before I did my first river cruise, I thought it would be kind of a big crossover between those two, but it really isn't. So I know you watching this, you're probably ocean cruisers or you're interested in ocean cruising. So I'll kind of use that as a base point, and hopefully it will make sense. It is both brilliant. Both of these are great, but very, very different. There's not, apart from the fact that they're both on water, that's really kind of the only similar thing between ocean and river cruises. Hello to John. Hello to Jeff. Oh, I've just loaded loads more comments. I thought I got to the bottom of them there. Hello, Alison. Oh my goodness, thank you so much for all of your comments. Have you done Windstar cruises? I have never done a Windstar cruise. I would love to. That would make a very good video, I think, but I have never done that yet. Adam says, welcome to the Spuds. Yes, hello Spuds. Nice to see you all here. It is 6 here. Well, it's not, but at nearly 6 p.m. I'm 1 hour ahead of the UK, which now we've changed our clocks. The UK is 1 hour ahead of GMT, which is 4 hours ahead of Eastern time. So I'm like working out all of this stuff in my head. But yes, not too bad. Basically, I had kind of the normal UK time change, and then the next day, the time change here. So I moved 2 hours in a couple of days, but it was okay. It was fun. Lou says Team Coke. No, definitely not Team Coke. Although Coke Zero, I think, is a close one to Pepsi Max. Not quite the same, but it is close. Anthem on Sunday says Kathy, amazing, so envious. Oh, so good. How is your cruise? It is going really well. So if you're from the UK and you know the cruise line Marella, they're a British cruise line, and TUI, this river cruise, is the same as Marella. It's complicated with the naming. I know it's really complicated, but basically, if you've been on a Marella cruise, a TUI river cruise is Marella on the river. That's kind of what I expected, and it is that. It's the same fonts, it's the same wording, everything is like that. I have cruised on river cruises before. I've done 2, one with Saga and one with Emerald Waterways, both press trips, both very, very luxurious. I've been on other ships, Amma Waterways ships, Avalon ships, Rosa ships, all very, very nice. But I will say, for me personally, I'm not going to spend the type of money for an Emerald Waterways or a Viking cruise. I'm a budget cruiser, as you guys know. So I was really hoping that this TUI river cruise would be kind of the answer to people who want to try a river cruise, but they don't want to pay 400, 500, £1,000 per night, which is what a lot of the river cruise lines do cost. I paid just under £1,000 for this 7-night cruise, including flights from the UK. That included £120 of excursion credit, drinks with meals, and I don't really need to spend anything else from that, which is comparable ocean price for a river cruise, which is pretty good. So I'm feeling happy with it. It is what I expected. Does this ship pick up passengers along the way? As far as I know, no. I think we all got on at the same place. I think we all basically came from maybe 3 UK airports. We all came on the same flights, we all got on the same buses, and we all came on this cruise. You can do it without that. If you want to just book the cruise and show up here, that's totally fine. But I think the majority of passengers on here have just come from different UK airports. Hello to John, nice to see you here. Nice to see Andrew, thank you so much. You need to make a ship tour for us. This would be the quickest ship tour ever, and I'm going to show you everything in my YouTube video that I make when I get back, because there's 4 decks. There's 1 lounge, 2 lounges maybe, kind of, 1 main restaurant. There's another kind of restaurant, but generally speaking, it's 1 lounge, it's 1 restaurant, it's 1 top deck, and then it's cabin. So the ship tour could be 60 seconds maybe if I wanted to, but I'm going to put together a video the same way I normally do. I took a river cruise on TUI, and it will have the complete ship tour, the cabin tours, the food, the entertainment, the everything. All of these questions that you asked me, and thank you so much for all the questions on, Instagram and the YouTube community tab and everywhere. All of those questions, I will be answering those in the video. That's basically what my video is. It's just everything that I think people want to know about this all together. Question from Christine. Hello, Christine. Are you able to sit at a table for 2, or do you have to sit for strangers? So on this cruise, there's no fixed seating. Different river cruise lines, of course, have different rules, but there's no fixed seating on this cruise. And also dinner is normally, it's between 7 and 9 p.m. So if you want to show up at 7:30, you want to show up at 8, you can show up and you can just sit at a table for 2. That's fine. I don't know if maybe you'd have to show up earlier to get the table for 2, because there's maybe not as many as the others, but I've never seen anybody, have to sit with people that they don't want to sit with. We are at reduced capacity though, so maybe that would be different if it's full. But if you showed up, when the restaurant opened at 7, you're going to get a table for 2. No problem at all. A lot of river cruise lines aren't like that though. I did take a river cruise with Saga, and that was, you will sit here at this set time with these people, and they were lovely. We sat with the loveliest 4 ladies. It was brilliant. But yes, not on TUI. I see you stroking your hair. You'll have to stop that soon. Yes, I'm trying to, I don't know, make the most out of my hair, have my hair down the whole time during this cruise before it goes away, because I am cutting off all of my hair. I'm shaving my hair, for those of you who don't know. for charity. So that would be very exciting. The video about it is on my channel. If you don't know what I'm talking about, please check that out, because I can't explain it in a few seconds, but I'm going to start looking different on these videos, which is cool. Thank you, Kane, for my super chat. Have you ever done a cruise in Australia? I have never done a cruise to Australia. That is kind of an ultimate bucket list thing. I would not have been able to do a cruise to Australia before, really, because I was only allowed, you know, set time off work. If I was going to go to Australia, I would want to go for longer than I could ever have got off work. And then pandemic happened. Australia, you know, shut down, and I just have not done it yet, but hopefully we will get there. Going on a river cruise in 29 days. Very exciting. Carnival cruise in 2 weeks. What is the main difference that we should know, and what won't we like in a river cruise? Interesting. The thing that I get asked most about river cruising is it boring? Because of course there is, you know, there's 94 guests on here. You're not going to have a Broadway show that's got, you know, 15 people in the production team, because it just doesn't make sense. So in the evening, there will be quizzes, there'll be live music. We have kind of local acts that come on in the evening. And normally things happen in the lounge until around midnight. So if you want to do stuff, you can do stuff all the time. The thing is a lot of the stuff that you end up doing is watching the scenery. I mean, when we're sailing during the day, you're on the top deck, you have a drink, and there's beautiful things going by. And until I show you, I can't really explain it. But it's a slower kind of pace of life. You have to get up earlier normally on a river cruise than an ocean cruise, because most include excursions, and most of the excursions go quite early. So for me, I'm getting up earlier, but then also by 10, I want to go to bed. You know, I'm not seeing the latest of the entertainment, because I am tired, to be quite honest with you. But it's so nice. You know, I sit here, you can open the doors. We're in a kind of balcony cabin. It's not really a balcony, but what they call a balcony cabin. And you can just see the scenery going by, and it's so peaceful until you get to a lock, and then it gets suddenly dark, because this whole wall that's like wet and dripping just covers up your window, and then you rise or you fall, and it's very, very cool. It's very, very interesting. Lots of comments about Coke Zero. Yes. You're too young for Saga. Yeah, Saga are a 50+ cruise line. I took a press trip though, so I was invited on board. Otherwise, there's no other way that I could have done it. And it was a really good cruise I had with Saga. I went with my mum, and it was nice. But the thing, the ship that I was on was from the early 90s, I think, with Saga. So we still had things like actual keys for our doors and stuff, which made a change. But yeah, I obviously stood out a bit on that one. Todd says, "Hi Emma, it's been great to follow your river cruise. How do the crew compare to your ocean ship crew?" So as far as the actual people go, I mean, any person who's working on here could work on an ocean ship, and vice versa. They're equally as nice, they're equally as polite. It's just a smaller team on here, of course. I think they have 6 people in the restaurants. I think there's kind of 1 main cruise director, 2 kind of, a couple of people who work on reception, and people in housekeeping. So it's the same. It's exactly the same. You could take the same team and put them on an ocean ship. Nothing would be, you know, you wouldn't notice. It's just everything is kind of cut down, and people kind of, I guess they have to do multiple jobs. So someone might be helping with, you know, picking people up from the airport, then they're a singer, then they're doing something else. You know what I mean? So if anything, I think you have to have more skills to work on a river cruise. But everyone is super nice. We've been at reception a few times. A few things kind of haven't worked, but this is the first sailing of the season. So they're kind of, I feel like I'm giving feedback on things that I don't really think are an issue, but I know someone else will complain. And they're really good at like, oh, I'll come see, I'll come fix that. They'll do as much as they can, which I think is really nice. Has it been noisy at night when going through the locks? Has it woken you up? So I'm on deck 2, and on deck 2, it's very, very quiet. But in the cabins on deck 1, you've got these 2 portholes that are up high, and it's much, much louder. It's not really kind of like bang and crash and stuff like that, but it's a constant hum, and you can hear the water. You can hear that you're within the water because you're below the water level if you're on deck 1. Here, I haven't been woken up by any locks, but if I'm not asleep, occasionally you'll notice like a duh, but it's cool. It's really interesting. Like, I want to see that. I want to see what's happening. But apparently we've got 22 locks on this river cruise, which is a lot of locks. You know, I did a river cruise in France. I don't remember doing any locks. Yeah, so good morning or good afternoon. Yes. Marcus says, please begin your question with question. Yes, if you can. It just makes it so much easier for me to kind of skip through, because some of the comments are questions and some of them are about John making an omelette, which, like, I appreciate, but I don't need to see those to answer those. But I hope your omelette is good, John. How full is the cruise? It is 94 guests out of about 150, so quite reduced capacity. The same kind of, I mean, a lot of the ocean cruises are reduced capacity too, so it's nice. It's quite nice. I like it. Can you come from California, or is it strictly UK? You can. You would just have to kind of organize your own flights and then just book this cruise and show up. I'd say almost everybody on here is British, but if you were not British, you're still allowed. You're not going to stand out or look ridiculous. How does this cruise line compare to Avalon? I don't know. I've never cruised with Avalon. I think Avalon is fairly similar to Emerald Waterways, and it's just kind of this is the budget version of river cruising, but there's not huge differences, to be quite honest with you. I mean, I love the more luxurious ships. I've stayed on Avalon ships kind of in port, and they're very nice and they're very luxurious. And I guess this is just a bit more kind of stripped down. And there's a few things where I think, oh, it seems a bit kind of cheaper. You know, like you have a bar of soap instead of a liquid soap, which is not like a problem at all. And I think the food is probably the biggest difference. Like the food on here is fine. We've never said anything bad. Nothing's ever been bad. It's good, it's nice, but it's not kind of the gourmet. You'll get really, if you're a foodie, you get really good gourmet food on Avalon. And I think it's not, TUI is the same as Marella, if you've been on a Marella cruise. Thanks for answering my question. You are very welcome. If I don't answer a question, it's not, that I have seen it and ignored it. I'm just seeing as many as I can. Do the boats tie up alongside each other at night? Well, they tie up against each other sometimes, but most of the time we're sailing overnight, so not really at night. Also, this is the first sailing of the season, so it is quieter. We have had to do that once on this cruise, but if we did it in summer, it would happen more often. So you may be sat, like this, parked somewhere, and then a Viking or an Avalon ship pulls up right next to you. You're balcony to balcony with another person, and if they want to get on their ship, they walk over your ship or through the atrium to get to their ship. So if you are, laying in bed, you may have some cabin come up next to you, but not so much on this one. Where is your cat? He is at home. I'm getting pictures of him. He's very happy. He's not missing me. I think he's doing good, but I'm missing him. I did a little video chat and I said, hi, Hazen, miss you. John says, will your video contain a shower scene? Yes, it will. And out of context, this doesn't make any sense, but I don't know how much I can show you in my room. It's all right. But this is the bathroom here, if you can see this. So it is frosted glass, and it's not frosted enough, in my opinion. I don't know why you'd ever make a bathroom door out of glass, for a start. In the day, it's okay. In the day, it's fine. But at night, if it's dark and the light's on, you can see everything. You can see what someone is wearing. You can see, are they reaching to take? You can see everything. So we just have to shower in the dark because I'm here with my brother, and that's just a bit odd. I just don't understand that design decision at all. I mean, the cabin is very nice. It's very clean. I like the look of it. It's very modern. There's only 2 plug sockets though, which is a bit of a not ideal, but it works fine. But why glass in the window? I don't know, but my brother did film me. I was just doing how much can you see? So I'm like wandering around in there. John's already seen this video. I sent it to my Patreons. I just thought it would be funny, but I'm pretending to, sit on the toilet, pretending to be in the shower, and you can see me in there. So that will be in the video that's coming out as soon as I get home, which is quite funny. Thanks for showing us this. Do you need passports and COVID passes each time you get off in a different country's port? Yes, but we have never been asked to show anything. They just say take them. There's also kind of, in places like Austria, masks are still quite normal. If you go inside somewhere, you put on a mask, and it needs to be the certain type of mask here in Austria, the better ones. On the ship, there's no mask wearing anymore. COVID, hand sanitizing, social distancing a bit, but there's no mask wearing. And I mean, I think the chances of us getting COVID on this cruise is very small. There's 94 of us, but we came over on a plane. Masks aren't required on the planes anymore. So if any of us have COVID, we got it from the plane, or we're going to get it from the plane going home, I'm sure. So Why are river cruises that much more expensive? If you Google this exact question, why are river cruises expensive? My website comes up in first place and I go into more detail about why. But basically, it's an economy of scale. You know, if you can put in more people to a big ship, it makes every person cheaper here. You know, they're getting all the local food. They still need, you know, all the facilities on here. But they can't scale up any bigger. You know, they need the river ships to be this size for a reason. They couldn't put another deck on top because it won't go under rivers. It's interesting, you know, we were on the top deck the other day and we went under a bridge and they told us all we had to sit down. One man did stand up, very naughty, but they can't make it bigger. There's nothing they can do, and if people are going to pay for it, that, you know, they know they're going to sell out. They always do, so it makes sense. I understand. Were you able to tour the kitchen or engineering in the behind the scenes tour? We went into the galley. I have not been anywhere near the engineering. I wouldn't know what to do with that, but I have some sort of, like, with the cabin I've booked, it included like a drink here and a behind the scenes tour. I don't know. I booked a different cabin from the cabin that I'm currently in. I booked a deck 2, still on deck 2, but a standard cabin, and the standard cabins are slightly smaller and the beds don't split. So before the cruise, I had to upgrade. It was only £59, which was more than worth it to have 2 beds and not have to share a bed with my brother. But that's what happened there. So I'm in a deck 2 superior balcony. I've already written my review of this cabin and also of a cabin on deck 1. So that's already on my website. I'm feeling productive on this cruise, but that's what's nice about river cruising. You know, I'm not falling behind with anything. I'm up to date with all of my work, which is very, very cool. What type of music does the ship play in common areas? Good question. There's not too much music in the common areas. If you mean kind of background music, when it's live music, it may be, you know, 70s, 80s, 90s, noughties, now kind of music, anything. But around the ship, I'd say mostly, well, I mean, it's anything. It literally is anything. I don't know what CD they have playing, but it's very, very quiet. You know, you don't normally hear the background music. Hit that like button. Yes, if you could do that, that would be amazing. That would be lovely. YouTube just likes that. Oh, Paul and Carol, you did not miss the time. I started early because I think we're sailing away at past, and I didn't want to shortchange you guys. Like, I like to do more than half an hour for these live streams. And I thought, while I'm here, I've been doing the speed tests on the internet. The internet is good enough for a live stream. You're set up on a bucket here on my bed. While that is there, I figure, go for the live stream. So that is what I'm doing. You are not late, but if you want to rewind, there is more to be seen. Lou went through 86 locks. Wow, it is very interesting. The first time it happens, you know what's going to happen, but you're not prepared for it. So you'll literally be sat in bed or in your cabin, and a wall will come beside you, and it will get really dark, and it's really kind of, you can hear the creaking and the dripping, and it's like, I don't know, it sounds like being in a dungeon, something like that. No inside cabin this time. There are no inside cabins on this ship. No. I would have booked the cheaper cabin downstairs, but they were all sold out by the time I got there, and then I had to upgrade to get 2 beds. But there's no room for inside cabins. You know, there's balconies and balconies, and well, windows or balconies. Thank you, Kane, for my super chat. Just booked my first cruise. That is so exciting. Watched all your videos, tips and tricks. You are very welcome. Thank you so much for watching them. There are so many videos on my channel now. I cannot believe it. I know I made them. I know I did. But, you know, if I look at ones I made a couple of years ago, I think I barely recognize myself, which is quite interesting. Thank you so much for my super sticker. And thank you, Joe, for the Austrian Cookies Fund. We have had some interesting Austrian kind of pancake waffle things on this cruise, which was quite nice. They do try and make dishes based on kind of where you are, which is nice, I think. You know, I don't always go out and buy the local food where I am, so it's nice that it comes to me on the river cruise. What has been your river cruise highlight so far? I have loved following your trip. I think it was a couple of days ago where we set sail at 2 p.m. and we sailed through Germany and Austria, and it was 20 degrees C, which is absolutely tropical for us Brits. I was out there in a t-shirt, and it was just hours and hours of the most amazing scenery. I filmed so much. I don't know what I'm going to do with all this footage. I'm going to try and put as much as I can into a video, but it just did not seem real. Like the Austrian, the German, all the different colored houses, and there's a castle, and then there's another castle, and there's another castle. It's just crazy. It has got quite cold now. It's raining, you know, it's definitely coat weather. I'm sure you can see people out there in their coats. But we've done quite well. You know, I hear it's snowing in the UK, raining, so I do not mind. 70 days until the Baltics. Very nice. Yeah, Cruise Boys, did you start this early? I did start this early. Yes, I did. How do the cookies compare to other companies' cookies? Well, they keep tricking me, these cookies, because I keep thinking that they're chocolate chip, and I keep biting them, and then they keep being raisin or red currant or something. I don't like raisins, so that's a trick, but they're pretty good, and they're by so there's like a coffee machine in the middle where you can make tea and coffee all the time, and there's just jars there, so you can just pick them up whenever you want, which is pretty cool, pretty good. Oh, I've gained a whole new section of comments. Thank you so much. Have you found cookies and Pepsi? I found Cookie. It is a Coke ship. It is a purely Coke ship. Purely Coke. Is dinner I'm back. I just disappeared. I'm back. There we go. Is dinner and drinks included, or do you need a package? So, of course, it does vary by river cruise line. On TUI, all your meals are included, and drinks with meals are included. So at mealtime in the restaurant, if you want a beer, if you want wine, or if you want a soft drink, they are included. In theory, you can have as many of those as you want. They are quite busy and they are kind of running around. So if I have two, I don't think I've ever had three during a meal. I think that's good, you know. But they do have Coke Zero kind of on the side now. They didn't have that at the beginning. They used to have to run off to the bar, but now they've worked it out. How long would a river cruise stay in a lock? It only takes, 10, 15 minutes to get through a lock. Depends how big the lock is. Depends how, on all kinds of things. I don't know, but not too long. It's interesting. Do you feel that you get enough time in port? So it's really interesting. This is my third river cruise. The first one I did in France, and in France we only sailed like 4 hours a night or something. We would be in port all day. We would go off for walks after dinner. Almost always we were in port because we didn't have very far to go. I did a Danube cruise with Saga, and we had a full river day on that cruise. I didn't even know a river day was a thing, to be honest, but we spent a full day on the river. And then this cruise, we've had quite a good mix. So sometimes we'll be in quite early and we'll leave. That one day we left at 2 p.m. is the earliest that we've left. Or sometimes we will get in at midday and then we won't leave until, tonight we're leaving at 6:30, I think. If I sail away, I'm going to have to say bye to you guys. But tomorrow, I think we're sailing at 10 p.m., 11 p.m., and we're in from 6 a.m. all day. So it does depend more on the river, I think, than anything else, because if you've got to go a distance, then you've got to go a distance, and that is what it is. Thank you, John, for my super chat. Avalon Danube, 4 days. Whoop whoop. You're going to be just behind me, and it's wet, so I hope you have a coat. Did you need a COVID test to enter Austria? We only needed a COVID test before we came on the flight and the cruise. That was the only thing we did. We did one at home within 2 days, maybe, of coming on the cruise, but you don't need them to get off in any of these places. I see I have a new member somewhere. I've lost you. There you are, Gregory. Thank you so much. You have access now to our Discord chat, to our monthly live stream we do just for members and Patreons, and to our podcast that I do every Monday, and various other things. You will have seen, well, you haven't seen because you've missed it, but I did share my shower clip that John was talking about earlier for the members. So thank you so much. What gin is available? I don't know off the top of my head, but I have put a picture of every drinks menu onto my website. So if you go on emmacruises.com, my second to last post is all of the menus. and you can see for yourself. I do not remember, but thank you very, very much. Have you been on Royal Caribbean? I have, and I am cruising on Anthem of the Seas soon, which is very, very exciting. Can't wait to do that. Whoop, whoop. Thank you, Kane, for my super chat. Emma should make a video on what you can take on a cruise with you. I think it'll be easier to do what can't you take on a cruise with you rather than what you can, because you can take all kinds of things. I could do that, maybe. I don't know what you guys would want to know. Is it kind of things like you don't need to bring towels, you don't need to bring hairdryers, or is it things like don't bring fireworks, don't bring knives? I don't know. Maybe. Good suggestion. Thank you, Brett, for joining as a member. What I just said a minute ago, the same applies to you, Brett. So I will see you inside our Discord chat. How quick was embarking? You would not believe how quick embarking is on a river ship, because you just walk on and then you're there. That's it. So we had a coach that picked us up from the airport, all of us together. We put our bags onto the coach. They gave us luggage tags there. Our bags, we didn't have to bring those. They arrived in our cabin. And when we got there, we just walked into the atrium, and that's it. We showed them our passports. They gave us our room keys. Our room keys are kind of these keys, so they're just reprogrammable. It doesn't mean anything. So we give these back at the end of the cruise. I don't know why river cruise lines do that. When I was on Emerald, we had our own kind of little ones, but quite a lot do this. So the way you get off the ship is you hand in this card, and they give you a shore card so that they know who's on the ship and who's on land. It is a bit different, with a river cruise versus an ocean cruise, because if they've lost some people aren't back, they can try and find them. They can call them because there's not so many of us, and we're not on such a strict schedule like a ocean cruise. Are you ready for the gala night? I think I am. I've got sparkly earrings on. I'm wearing this, and this is as gala-y as we're going to get on a TUI river cruise. Normally, you can wear anything to dinner. That's not a problem. Oh yeah, they do give you these water bottles, TUI river cruises, to try and eliminate plastic and all those kind of things. Good question about, I saw it. There it is, Tim. Skyla has 152 passenger capacity, yeah, and we've only got 94 on here. Do you miss the anonymity, I struggle with that word, of being amongst thousands on the ocean? It's very different because you will get to know all of your fellow cruisers. Everyone's really nice on a river cruise. If you walk by someone in the corridor, everyone will say hi. You get to know all of the crew. It's just different. I like it, but also I do like kind of being completely anonymous on the bigger river cruises too. But it's nice, we'll meet someone who we know, and we'll say, what tour did you do today? Oh, we went on, a boat and we ate beer. Oh, what did you do? Oh, we went to this other place. And you can catch up with everybody. You don't have to sit with anybody else in the dining room or anything like that. There's plenty of space in the lounge, but you do get to know everybody, because you just do. 94 people, you get to at least recognize everybody, and kind of work out, who's come from where and who's done what. And it's interesting. I like it. Yes, both are good. I think I'll keep both. What do you know about the cruise work life and workload? Do they have private sections for after work? That's a good difference between river cruising and ocean cruising, because pretty much all the time they're working. Because I suppose they have their own, cabins and things, but there's not. They eat in the restaurant, the main restaurant. They eat there. Most of them, they eat before the guests. If you're kind of the cruise director, though, they eat in the main restaurant. So even if the cruise director is not at their desk, or the person who's at reception is not at their desk, they're somewhere, and they're almost always working. I think the kind of seasons that they do are shorter than on the ocean, but they work very, very hard for it, very, very hard. And they literally, get up at 5 a.m. to do prep for the crew breakfast, and then the passenger breakfast, and then crew lunch, and then passenger lunch, and then crew dinner and passenger dinner. So they're very, very busy, very, very busy, yes. But they're all lovely, so that is good. Again, a new member. Thank you very much for joining. You will hear my podcast on Monday, and I will welcome you then properly. Is that fruit juice in the bottle? It is squash. I'm here on a river cruise in Austria, but I still do have squash in my bottle. So we bought the kind of the little diluted juice squashes, like 60p from Lidl, I think. And it's amazing. You can have squash anytime you like, which is good. Are you planning on cruising on Wonder of the Seas? I have no plans to cruise on Wonder of the Seas. She looks amazing, but I think I have seen everything about this ship from YouTube. Like I've watched everyone's videos, almost everybody's, I think, but I almost know that ship better than any other ship. Does the ship have a pool? It does not have a pool, and other river ships do have pools. When I was on my Saga cruise, there was a pool on the top deck. Not that that would be used on this cruise because it's raining. And on the Emerald Waterways one I took, there was a pool at the back that turned into a cinema in the evening. Very, very cool. But there is no pool on this ship. There is kind of I think spa is a strong word, wellness area, I think they call it, that has a hot tub and also has a sauna. So there's an area for that. You have to book it. But everyone tells me it's great, so that's very cool. But there is not a pool, and as far as I know, there is not a gym or anything like that. Not that I would ever really know if there was a gym. I don't think so. Have you done a bike tour? I've not done any bike tours on this cruise. This TUI don't have bikes on board. I know a lot of river cruise lines do, but I am doing a purely bike river cruise through Germany in July. So I need to get my bike out the shed and check that I can still cycle. There aren't spa services available. They don't do, they don't have massages or teeth whitening or anything like that on here. It's just kind of a wellness area. Do you prefer river cruising or ocean cruising? I like both. If someone said you can only do river cruising forever or ocean cruising forever, I'm going to stick with ocean cruising because there's so much, I don't know, there's just so much within ocean cruising, but it's really nice to cruise on the river. It's really good. And it's so different to just be here. I can just walk off. There's no security. There's no queuing up for anything. There's no, we're at the same level. You just walk straight out. If you want to come back, you walk straight back in. You walk straight back off. So easy. River cruising is super, super easy, especially, when it's like a package like this, because they picked us up from the airport. We were on the plane. Easy peasy, easy peasy. What is the age range on your TUI river cruise? So the age range on here, I think, is younger than the other river cruises I took. Obviously, it's younger than the Saga one, but it's younger than average on this TUI river cruise because it's cheaper. And generally speaking, the more expensive, the Viking, the Avalon has an older passenger demographic. There's other people who are kind of the same age as me. There's only a handful of people who are, in their 20s and 30s, I think. Most people probably 40s, 50s, 60s. Maybe a couple who are in their 80s and 90s, 100s. I don't know. I don't think 100s on this cruise. We did find someone who was over 100 on our Saga cruise. Very, very nice guy. But it is younger on the TUI cruise than other cruises. This is an adult-only cruise, though, so there's no kids on here. Most of the cabins hold 2. Some of them hold 3, but it is mostly, it's an adult cruise. If you're younger though, do not let that put you off. Like, I am going to bed way before these people who are in their 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, so it's good. On my tour yesterday, the tour guide said how good it was to have teenagers on board. She thought I was a teenager, so I took that as a compliment because I'm 28. I'm zooming towards 30, so I'm happy to have a teenager. That was very, very cool. Thank you for my super chat. Is river cruising comparable to the luxury cruises? Comparable to, well, it depends what cruise line you pick. This is very comparable to Marella cruise because it is TUI, and TUI and Marella are the same thing. If you're going to cruise with Viking, it's very comparable to a Viking Ocean cruise, which is very luxurious. Almost all of the river market, though, is more, pricey and luxurious than. But then it depends what you mean by luxury. For me, I like the luxury of not having to wake up by 9 to have breakfast, whereas on river cruises, normally breakfast ends earlier. So it just depends what you think luxury is. To me, being able to get pizza at 2 a.m., that's a luxury. So it depends. It depends. It does depend. Emma, say anemone, like Finding Nemo. I love Finding Nemo. Best film. Jim says, so having almost finished your TUI cruise from your Instagram, it seems you're enjoying your cruise. Do you feel that you're getting your money's worth a bit for Pretzel fun. Oh, I see. I already had the pretzels. They were brilliant. Yes, I definitely think I'm getting my money's worth. I think if you're kind of wanting to try river but not wanting to drop £500 per night, this is a very good option. It's not hugely different. I think really the differences between this and a cruise line like Viking is, you know, they get the umbrellas when they go off for the walking tours. We don't. You know, I'm sure TUI could rent us umbrellas or something. But there's probably more included on the luxurious lines. If this is full capacity, there's probably more space on the other luxurious lines, and the food is more luxurious on the luxurious lines. But this suits me fine. Like, I feel very at home on here. I felt at home even on the Saga cruise. You know, everyone made me feel very at home. But yeah. Have you experienced any seasickness on this cruise? Absolutely not. Definitely no seasickness. You do not need to pack seasickness pills. There is nothing. There is nothing. There's no little waves to go over. Nothing like that. It's very nice. Very nice. Can we get a quick balcony tutorial? To an extent, but when I wiggle it round, that tends to be when the internet leaves. So this is my balcony. You know, it is a door. It's opens like that. I'm on my bed, so you're sat on my bed. Oh, I can't close it like that. No, we'll have to leave that open. You're on my bed. There's another bed there. This is the desk. I'm going to try and turn it without losing my Wi-Fi. Here's a wardrobe. Very exciting. A door. And my bathroom. So it's very, you know, I have uploaded pictures of all of this on my website if you want to check it out in more detail. But it's functional. It's quite, you know, clean, basic. Looks quite modern, I think, and I quite like it. Apart from the glass in the bathroom door, I don't think that's a good idea, but everything else is very, very nice in this cabin. You often get seasick. You will not know. There's nothing to worry about on a river cruise. You will not get seasick. You cannot feel a thing. Do not worry at all. Is it frowned upon to say ocean or sea on a river cruise, or do they not care? They do not care. Also, we get into this debate of, is this a boat or a ship? All the river cruise lines call them ships, but I think they are boats technically. So we don't get into that. Heard there was a drought causing issues with river cruising. Have you seen that? We've not had any problems on this river cruise. Of course, river cruising, you know, it is dependent on the river levels. Sometimes they're not high enough. Sometimes people will be bussed around between the different ports. It's a risk you take. You know, we take the risk of bad weather on the ocean, and on here, it just affects us in a different way. I think I'm going to try and close this door because it's getting a bit noisy. How is the time going? I don't want to miss my dinner. Oh, I think we're going to sail away in a minute. Let me just try and close this with... I can't do it while you're here. I need two hands to close my door. I will do it in a minute. Do you feel claustrophobic on a smaller vessel? I don't feel claustrophobic. I think if you were someone who was prone to claustrophobia, the cabins downstairs might make you feel a bit claustrophobic because there's just windows that are up high, and you can see the water going by. If you're someone who likes to watch the ducks, you literally have ducks going outside your room, which is very cool. But in here, I mean, no, not at all. This room is pretty much as big as you find on an ocean ship. We have fresh air all the time. We normally have the doors open and we see everything going by. So I definitely don't feel claustrophobic. Do any cruise lines seem to have Wi-Fi fast enough to work from? Zoom audio calls, maybe. I would say almost all cruise lines is fast enough for audio. Video is really the trouble. Normally cruise lines will have kind of different tiers. So if you buy a higher tier, you should in theory get better internet. Some cruise lines are really good, some not so much. It depends quite a lot too on where you are. You know, here we have Wi-Fi, but also I have 4G. Normally the 4G is faster than the Wi-Fi, but as I'm sailing down the river, I will get into better signal and then out of signal because we're literally moving between different things. So it does depend, but yeah, I think audio is normally always fine. Video is just a bit more tricky. Tim says, Skyla is TUI's newest river ship, I believe. Does it have any telltales that it's newer? I think so, because there's kind of things that are a bit, I don't know, settling in. So some of the cabins have had problems with the doors opening because they've installed a new carpet and it's making the doors not, I don't know what it is. But things like that, like they've installed new carpets, things are kind of settling down. This ship isn't new though. I thought this ship was new, and they kind of announce it as if it's new, but this ship's about 10 years old. It was a German ship before. There's a few signs around that it was German, like the coffee machine was in German, but they're kind of working those out. We're here on the first cruise, so those things are getting kind of sorted. Um, Oh dear, recently reversed my cabin number on embarkation day, took the keys, opened the cabin, started unpacking, and the correct party. I mean, your key should not open the wrong door. That's a bit worrying. What activities are on the ship? So if I just think, I'm not going to look at my phone, I'm going to think. TUI do have an app, so everything is on the app. The daily schedule's on there. You don't get a paper version; it's all in the app. But the app is very good. It does work very well, and it says what's happening where. On most days when it's not raining, there'll be like yoga or a stretch on the top deck. In the evening, there will be quizzes. There'll be live music. There'll be a singer. They had a silent disco the other day. Yesterday, we had people in from Austria to do some sort of local music, which was very, very cool. But generally speaking, things don't really overlap, at least on this river cruise. So dinner is 7 till 9, and then the first thing will normally be 9:30 till 10:30, then 11 till 12 or something like that. Yesterday, the entertainment was a bit earlier because we had to sail away, but it's good on a river cruise because they can move the times of dinner, the times of lunch, the times of entertainment based on if everyone's on an excursion, there's no point them putting lunch on at a certain time. So if they know we've all got to go off later, they'll move lunch earlier. Or tomorrow, dinner is earlier because people are going off in the evening for evening excursions. So it does work out quite well like that. You can't really do that in the same way on an ocean cruise, but because there's less of us, it makes it easier. Your earrings are so nice. Where are they from? I don't remember, but if you can send me a direct message on Instagram, I can send you the link to them. Hello, cruise monkeys. You are late. Oh my goodness. I think we are going to sail away soon. It is sail away time. And if we do that, we will be Am I back? Yay, I'm back. I never know if you guys can see me, if I'm back, if I'm just frozen, or if you guys can see me, so I try and pull like a normal face. But I am back. But yes, I think we are sailing away in a minute, so I am going to have to go in a second. The engines have started. The water is moving around there, so I will be off in a minute. But I don't know what's for dinner tonight, but it is a 7-course dinner. I upload pictures of everything, really, my food, to my Instagram story. That is Emma Cruises if you're on there. I am back. Yes, I am back. Last chance to hit that like button. Yes. I'm impressed with how well this has worked. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining me. I will be back to normal next week. Yeah, cruise monkeys show up and then the internet is gone. It's been fine before that. Right, I'm gonna go. Yeah, 7 courses, I know. The food is good, yes. It's not kind of the gourmet stuff you get on Viking or Avalon. It's it's more pasta dishes and normal food, I would say, but it is nice. They do a good job with it. But yeah, who knows today? Who knows today? Thank you so much for joining me. I'll be back to normal next week. I'll have my podcast out on Monday for the members who joined and the Patreons, and I will see you there. Thank you so much, everybody. If you have any questions, I'm going to do my best to put everything into this video. The video will be out. I get back on Monday. I'll try and get it done for Thursday, maybe, and that will be everything. But thank you so much. This has been really fun. Thank you for sticking with me throughout the power outages. I will see you soon. Bye, guys.